I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to the Commissioners Board meeting for December the 1st of 2022. We're broadcasting live on Microsoft Teams live event, as well as BCTV, YouTube, and Facebook Live. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence, followed by a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any additions or corrections for the November 17th Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We had a number of executive sessions since the last Commissioners meeting. November the 17th, we had two separate sessions, both on personnel. November the 18th, two separate sessions, both on personnel. November the 22nd, personnel. November the 29th, personnel. November the 30th, contract negotiations, personnel, and litigation. And this morning, contract negotiations and personnel. At this time, I'd like to recognize my executive assistant, Anne Marie Grill, to read the public comment policy.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used. Teams Q&A, Facebook, and YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much. And I don't see any public comment on agenda items, either online or in person. So we will continue. Item 1, authorizing, under that, Budget Department, adopt a resolution authorizing 2022 budget transfers in the amount of $44,000 and 2022 appropriations in the amount of $70,382 per listing dated November the 25th of 2022. There are several items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize the appointment of Jessica Kennedy to firearms examiner in the District Attorney's Office. Item 2, authorize the appointment of Tony Calderoni to Enterprise Support Technician in Information Systems. Item 3, authorize the appointment of Carl Long, Implementation Specialist in Information Systems. Item 4, authorize a salary adjustment for Beverly Levan, paralegal in the Solicitor's Office. Item 5, authorize a salary adjustment for Amanda Helbert, paralegal in the Solicitor's Office. Item 6, authorize a salary adjustment for Jacqueline Schiffert, Senior Financial Analyst, Budget and Finance. And item 7, authorize the utilization of a temp agency for a fiscal manager position in Children and Youth Services. There's one item listed under Commissioner Rivera, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Paula Barrett, Wyomissing, PA, to the Berks County Municipal Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2027. There are several items listed under the commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution appointing Kimberly Baskett, Reading, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Workforce Development Board for a replacement term beginning December 1st of 2022 through June 30th of 2025. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute a letter to .gov domain registration to request berkspa.gov be delegated to the County of Berks. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an amendment to the agreement between the County of Berks and the Redevelopment Authority of the County of Berks for the Lexington End-Use Packaging Project in Reading, Pennsylvania, increasing the grant funding from the original amount of $1,750,000 to $10 million. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing Christine M. Sadler, solicitor, to execute a statement of work with the Silent Group, Inc. to provide additional forensic services. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated November the 28th of 2022. There are a total of 2 contracts, one with the Area Agency on Aging and one with Children and Youth Services. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers as set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated December the 1st of 2022. Item 4, a motion to authorize execution of employee payroll disbursements dated December the 6th of 2022.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. At this time, we'll move to the treasurer's report, and we have the Deputy Treasurer, Linda Weaver, to give the report. Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have an opening balance of $192,835,164.53. We have a balance to clear of $3,859,608.49, leaving us with a balance of $188,975,556.04.
Thank you very much. We'll move now to our County Controller, Sandy Graffius, with the Controller's Report.
Have 2 weeks this week, because last week was Thanksgiving,
Sure.
and you guys opted not to have a commissioners meeting.
Yeah, it was a tough decision, but we decided to pass. Turkey or a commissioners meeting. Maybe to some people, they might be the same thing.
Do you mind if I just move right along?
You move right along, Sandy.
Okay. Our disbursements for November 24th. We had total accounts payable of $858,931.97. Now, for today, we have total accounts payable $12,413,913.59. We have a payroll $4,794,610.40 for a grand total of $17,208,523.99. The end.
Thank you very much, Sandy. And we'll move now to Ronald Seaman, our Chief Operations Officer.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. Just want to report tomorrow evening, Friday, December the 2nd, kicks off our 2022 holiday lights display at Grings Mill. The display is open 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday throughout the month of December. It includes free admission and parking. and live music, food trucks, a fire pit, and Santa. New for 2022 is a Christmas tree lane decorated by local organizations. There will be a sensory-friendly night on December 14th and a solstice celebration on December 21st. For tomorrow evening's opening, we have for entertainment Maggie Spike, and the food trucks available will be Beansies, Pip and Lily's Loaded Tots, and the Funnel Cake Factory. Thank you.
Anything with funnel cake sounds good to me. Very good. With that, we'll move now to commissioners' reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Yes, thank you very much, Commissioner Leinbach. I have various items to bring here today. First of all, all three of us were at the scouting breakfast this morning, Spirit of Scouting, and Dr. Yamil Sanchez from the Reading School District was the honoree. So I want to take the opportunity to thank Dr. Sanchez for the work that he does here in Reading and the County of Berks, as well as for the students at the Reading School District. It was very good to see that he was honored because of all the work he does here in our community. Also, I hope all of you had a very happy Thanksgiving. As I had said before we left for Thanksgiving, please take some time out to give thanks and reflect on the many, many blessings that you have in your life. So I hope you're able to do that. I was able to do that. And when you look at the blessings that you have, it makes you focus on that rather than on what you don't have. So hopefully you all had a happy Thanksgiving this past week. Also had the opportunity to go around with my executive assistant, Barbara Lopez. I know I got her name wrong the other day. But with Barbara Lopez, and we're able to go through the County Services Center and look at the door decorations here at the Services Center and at the courthouse. Want to congratulate, there were 20 departments that did their fixed up their doors in their area. There were also, of those, 3 were at the Berks Heim. So it was a great opportunity to go out and see the great work and the holiday spirit that our employees have here at the county. The winners will be announced, I believe, sometime next week. So please stay tuned for that. We will let you know who the winners were. On another note, last week, Saturday through Tuesday, myself and my colleagues were at the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania at the Fall Conference. The Fall Conference has various things that happen there. One, there are different workshops where you go in and learn. Commissioner Barnhart was actually the presenter at one of those workshops. So Commissioner Barnhart, thank you for doing that and representing Berks County. It's on a topic he is very, very passionate about. So different workshops there where you go, and there's also general sessions for CCAP membership and where different topics are discussed, but also votes are made on the budget for 2023, as well as the priorities that CCAP is putting forth for 2023. The way these priorities are set forth is there are different committees within CCAP that get together and determine what the priority for those committees will be for the upcoming year. Those committees then bring those recommendations before the full membership at this fall conference. And at the fall conference, then the full body members that are present vote on these priorities to determine which are the top 4 or 5 that CCAP will focus on. Not that the others are not important, but these are the ones that we will dedicate the most time through CCAP. And 3 of them actually had to do with mental health. We've spoken about that many, many times here, and 3 of them had to do with mental health, and one of the others had to do with election integrity as well. So those are topics that are important because CCAP represents all counties in Pennsylvania, not just Berks County. So it's important that we are able to speak together as one voice and reach out to our state and federal delegation in reference to what the priorities for counties are here in Berks County. The other point I want to bring up is you may have read in the paper or heard on the news that the federal government has decided to not renew the contract with the BCRC, with the Berks County Residential Center. So I do want to take the opportunity to thank the around 60 employees there that have dedicated their time and their efforts to providing an environment there for the people that have gone through that process. So I do want to thank them. We did meet with them yesterday and let them know that we are working on seeing how we can provide other opportunities here at the county for employment for them. So to the employees of the Berks County Residential Center, thank you for all that you have done, and we're here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. I want to take a moment to ask an individual in the audience to step forward to our podium. We have attorney Jim Smith with us this morning, and he has some interesting news to share with the people of Berks County. If you can make sure the mic is on. Here.
Test. How's that? Test.
Not good. Now it is.
All right. How does that work?
That's good.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioner Barnhart, Commissioner Leinbach, Commissioner Rivera. Thank you so much for the opportunity to address the board briefly this morning. I'm a partner at Smith Bukowski, a law firm in Wyomissing. I also serve as president of the Berks County Bar Association here and this year. And this past week, specifically on Tuesday, a small group of Berks County lawyers traveled to Washington, D.C., and we had the pleasure, the privilege of standing before the members of the Supreme Court of the United States. And these members that went with us were admitted to practice before the United States Supreme Court. Among those members that were with us is this county's solicitor, Christine Sadler. I had the pleasure of spending some time with Christine there. Of course, I know Christine. We go way back. When I started at the district attorney's office here, Christine was already in place at the district attorney's office and presented me with a little bit of intimidation based on her prowess in the district attorney's office and the courtroom. But I learned a lot from Christine, and to witness Christine being admitted to the United States Supreme Court was an honor of mine, and I think that it's worth note. There is a small fraction of people in the United States, certainly even a small fraction of attorneys that get to the place where they're admitted to practice before the United States Supreme Court. What that means in practice or practicality for this county is that in the event that God forbid the county is ever called to appear before the United States Supreme Court, your solicitor is qualified, pre-qualified, you might say, to move forward in that action should it ever be necessary. And so my congratulations to Christine, Ms. Sadler, and again, thank you, board, for the opportunity to be here today and mention that.
Thank you very much, Jim. I just stay here. Our executive assistants, if you can come up, you've done a yeoman's job to pull this together. We have most of the solicitor staff. I don't think any of the CYS solicitors are here, but we have a couple of items that our trusty executive assistants put together. The first one is a Coca-Cola pack, and anyone that knows Christine, I've been trying to get her just go to Diet Coke, but she did for a while. And if you think she's crazy now, when she doesn't have full-blown Coke, it's even worse. Congratulations. And then she's going to need, you can set these down in the corner there. Some flowers for your office. But Christine, I'm going to give my colleagues each an opportunity, and then we'd like to hear from you. We are really proud of you and your accomplishments. You are a pit bull, and that's what you need when you're looking at the top legal person in Berks County government. I know John Adams thinks he's the top legal guy, but I'll bet you John even today would step back and say, this is a big deal that you've been admitted to the United States Supreme Court, and we're proud to be able to celebrate your accomplishment here today and to really share this with the people of Berks County. I have to be completely honest. I had no idea this was coming until I heard through, I think through Jim Smith, that she's been admitted. And I said, I think this is kind of important, isn't it? Yeah, it's a big deal. So, yep, absolutely. Awesome.
Well, Christine, congratulations. Just so you know who we're dealing with here at the county, at the state level, CCAP, which I was talking about earlier, Christine is well known and well esteemed for her work and how she fights and defends the county. If you talk with anyone there, they'll say, oh yeah, I know Christine. And she's been asked many, many times to present. She's been asked many, many times to provide input for cases that the association is working on a countywide basis because of her knowledge, because of how she handles herself. I'm also a part of the board of the insurance pool in which counties participate. And also Christine is brought up there as well. They say every time that, if there's an issue with Berks County, Christine knows her stuff. She's always prepared. She never brings anything without being fully prepared. And they know that if Christine brings it, it's because it's relevant and there's a good chance of us being able to move forward with what Christine is bringing. So that makes us very proud, and it should make you understand and be confident that when Christine is doing something, it's because she does the research, she knows what she's talking about, and she is always looking out for the best interest for the county. And at times there's things I've wanted to do or ask her about, and she said, no, I don't recommend you doing that. And although it's my choice to accept it or not, I listen to her recommendations because I know where she's coming from, where she always has the best interest of the county at heart. So Christine, congratulations and thank you.
Christine, congratulations. It's a testament to who you are. The 15 years you and I have worked together, I've just seen you leaps and bounds from 2008 till today, and this is a great accomplishment. And one thing that wasn't pointed out, your tenacity and your work ethic. I think there's not enough hours in a day for Christine Souter to make sure she's working for the betterment of Berks County on behalf of the county and the residents of Berks County. So it's a well-deserved honor, and the recognition is all yours. So thank you.
Christine.
Obviously, I'm surprised I didn't know this was coming. Thank you very much. Obviously, I couldn't do what I do on a daily basis without my staff. They're big. Jim Smith was part of the group. There was, I believe, 3 individuals from the DA's office that were also admitted. So we had a number of county employees that were certainly, bestowed this very important honor. And so I'm very honored and humbled by the appreciation here today. And I've been with the county 26 years, and I certainly love my job. So thank you all very much. It was a tremendous honor, and I appreciate the kudos. Thank you.
And again, I want to give thanks to Jim Smith. I reached out to him a couple of days ago and said, Jim, we want to honor Christine Sadler. And obviously, we're thrilled with all of the people from Berks County that have been admitted to the U.S. Supreme Court. But would you come representing the Bar Association? And he said, let me figure it out, because he had another conflict and he made it happen. Thank you very much, Jim. With that, we'll continue with commissioners' reports, and I'll turn the meeting over to Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Weinbach. And as a testament to Christine as well, in this job of nearly 15 years, there are highs and there are lows. And today was a high. Yesterday was a low when we and leadership went to the BCRC to announce to the staff the closure of the BCRC. You can argue the program and its strengths and weaknesses and the political spectrum and the national fervor over immigration. But when you look at the tears in the eyes of the people that work there, for some people for their entire careers, who love them, who love who they work with, love the work they do, it was challenging to stand in front of them and let them know that the end was coming for the Immigration Center. Regardless of your political viewpoint, these are human beings just as much as the people they were caring for. Especially difficult for at least 15 management confidential folks and 40 plus ASME represented employees. who work 24/7. The nights and weekends and holidays we don't want to work or choose not to work. They were there for the best interests of the folks who are assigned to their care. So we hope that each and every one of them finds a path here with the county. We have plenty of significant job opportunities for this class of people. I think are first class, second to none. So my heart goes out to them. We know they're going to be speaking to their families, trying to figure out where their life's going to go from this point forward. But we're going to do everything within our powers, Commissioner Rivera indicated, to find a proper placement for them in the county because they are part of the county family. This morning, we had a hearing in front of Judge Lillis on the Berks County Republican Committee's recount petition. So that is, I guess, ongoing. We'll see what the results are of that. That ties right into 11 a.m. Here in the Commissioner's Boardroom is the Election Board meeting. We have a pretty healthy agenda, discuss ES&S ballot marking device, discuss and approve the contract extension for a person providing assistance to election services, discuss the possibility of mail sorting system for election services, discuss paper ballots and precinct voting technology requirements, review of the 2% audit results, and of course, we always love the local option provision for the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. So that's always an option. Last but not least, at 1 o'clock today, we'll be meeting with Adult Probation and Berks Connections Pretrial Services to continue to put together a proposal to be brought before the Board of Commissioners for consideration. We're hoping for the December 8th Budget Ops meeting to discuss the possibility of creating a day reporting center here in Berks County, which dovetails right nicely into the correctional facility plans. As we move forward in the planning process of the new correctional facility, we want to make sure everyone who does not belong in the criminal justice system, more importantly, who does not belong incarcerated, has an option here in the community. So along with studying the real effect of work release, day reporting, and the one significant one that we have to have other community partners involved in this is the mental health aspect of the criminal justice system, and that we have become over the last decades the largest mental health provider in the county of Berks. When the state walked away from being the provider of mental health services for the Commonwealth, they decided to dump it back on the counties. And we don't see any relief in sight from the government in Harrisburg, but we're going to do everything we can within our power to support our residents here in Berks County. So a lot of good things going on in the next year regarding trying to right size and get our average daily population where it really needs to be at the Berks County Jail and ultimately the Berks County Correctional Facility. Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart. Several items. I also want to reference the Berks County Residential Center. Yesterday, being over there, meeting with the employees, it was tough. And I had two messages for the employees. Number one, our thanks for the work that they've done, some of them for almost 30 years. They've been involved since the beginning of the program. The concern, the care that they have always shown for their people, the people that they've been asked to take care of. And I absolutely get that there are differences of political opinion on immigration, controls of borders, but the truth matters. And when I read the paper this morning and saw Stand Up Berks comment, and I will read it specifically, we will also remain vigilant that this site will never again be used to inflict more violence against immigrants. I was appalled. We've dealt with this before. I thank the employees because those employees have gone through the ringer over the last number of years with these accusations flying around that somehow they've committed violence. And once this contract is over, you should be able to talk to the Berks County Intermediate Unit and ask them about their teachers that not only worked there, but wanted to continue to work there when their contract was ended with ICE, I believe about a year ago. They enjoyed working with the children that came through that facility. They saw the value of it. Talk to the dentists, talk to the medical providers that were there. Talk to the former Reading Berks Conference of Churches, which is now Transformative Solutions, that provided the chaplain for the program, that loved working with the families and working with the ladies that have been there. They will not say anything about violence being perpetrated on immigrants. That is an absolute fabrication. And it is shameful because it's a reflection on the men and women that have worked there and have been good people. And one of the reasons our second message was, we will do everything we can to help you. And Jim Irwin, the lead for the AFSCME unit, was there with us. We made it very clear, we want every one of them to stay with the county because they are good employees and they are good people. And publicly, I want to go on record again in thanking them for their service and letting them know that we're there to support them in this transition in any way we possibly can. Secondly, I want to note as well that is noted by my colleagues, all three of us were at the County Commissioners Association. A couple of takeaways. The mental health issue came up almost every day. It came up in our board of directors meeting. It came up in several workshops. It is a major issue. And one of the things that was discussed is the need for counties to start telling the mental health stories. So I have one for you today. No names, but right here in Berks County, we have a 15-year-old stuck in the ER at the Reading Hospital for the last 8 weeks with no place to go, no bed anywhere. This is a cost that is being entirely incurred right now by Reading Hospital. Understand that they don't get any funding when they can't find a place for someone to go. I won't say where, but we thought we had this issue resolved a week ago where because this is through our Children and Youth Services, where we had a place that was going to provide one-on-one service, and that fell through in the last day. That young man is still in the ER. Ask yourself a question. If you spent a week in the ER as an adult, what would that do to your mental health? This is a young man that has serious mental health issues and no family, none. That's a tragedy in the 21st century. You're going to start hearing more and more counties telling the stories of mental health because we got to figure this out. This is not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. I also sat in a workshop talking about news. Two of the things that jumped out, more and more counties are dealing with what we're calling a local news desert. And that is the collapse of local newspapers. And Karen Shuey, I want to say this, Karen has been faithful, but Karen has watched the demise of a powerful local news organization. And Karen, you don't have to comment. You still work for the Reading Eagle. The Reading Eagle's here, and you've been very faithful. Stephanie Weaver, who is our public relations officer, once worked for the Reading Eagle. The Reading Eagle is a shell of what it was in 2008 when I took office. And this is becoming a problem around the Commonwealth, around the country, where it's becoming very difficult to access local news. There's a second issue with it. And one of the things we used to say about newspapers and even about television news, if it bleeds, it leads. Unfortunately, that's become the theme of social media. And in social media, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. If it's the more outrageous it is, that's what people pick up. That's what they run with. That's what they share with everyone else. And it's making it very challenging for counties and other governments to get basic information out about what's really happening on a particular issue, basic information out about a department, about simple things, the calendar of events for Parks and Rec. The Reading Eagle used to produce at no cost, they funded it through advertising, the annual Parks and Rec calendar of events. That has not been done for several years. They're just not in a position to do that. The last thing I wanted to highlight, and Commissioner Rivera referenced it, these are the top priorities for all of the county commissioners for 2023. Number one is 911 funding and reauthorization. At the end of 23, the current 911 funding bill sunsets. That has to be addressed. Number two is county inmates and mental health issues in jails. Number three is county mental health base increase, which has not been increased for at least 15 years. And in fact, in 12, dealt with a 10% cut. Next is address the ongoing difficulties with complex behavioral health issues. The next one is broadband access and development. And the last one is promoting election integrity. Those are the top priorities for the County Commissioners Association that we will be focused on in the coming year. Two other quick items. I want to thank Jim Adams for his service for many years. He was first appointed to the Berks County Industrial Development Authority prior to my term by former Commissioner Tom Gajewski. He served in that position and is serving until the end of this year. He is retiring. I've known Jim for a long time. When he was first appointed here, he was my boss. I ran the advertising agency at West Lawn Graphic. He was the owner of West Lawn Graphic. I know when he was appointed, he was thrilled to be able to serve the county in that capacity. And I just want to wish Jim and Robin, his wife, the very best in their retirement. He also is on the Planning Commission and is ending his term at the end of this year, end of this month as well. And then Grings Mill Holiday Lights, as mentioned, tomorrow evening, I will be there along with Anne Marie and Kathy Wegener. I'm doing my December County Connection television show on Grings Mill Holiday Lights. We already shot the first part of the show. When I say we shot, I don't want you to think taxpayer money. We're shooting it ourselves with an iPod. Works very well. I've done my last two shows shooting it with an iPod. Tonight, though, we'll be focusing in on all of the different displays that are there. And I believe it's running next week. I believe it's next Monday is when it airs. But again, Grings Mill Holiday Lights, great event. Come on out. Tonight, the weather should be perfect to come out and see some beautiful lights. With that, open it up. Are there any row officer comments? Hearing none, we will go to public comment. We will begin with public comment in person. We have one person signed up, and that is Jess Royer, Spring Township, regarding the BCRC. Please step up to the mic.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jess Royer, Spring Township. I want to start by thanking you all for very clearly thinking a lot about what's going to happen with the employees, the workers at the Berks County Residential Center. As an AFSCME member myself for a different local, that does weigh on me, and I'm sure that that's going to be something that those employees, those workers are thinking about a lot as we go through the holiday season. My understanding is that they will still be employed there through January. Hopefully they can find jobs within the county somewhere for which they're qualified without bumping somebody who has less seniority, so somebody else down, lower down the ladder doesn't also lose their work. I'm also thinking a lot about the people who are currently there, the people who have come through there, and Commissioner Linebaugh, you just mentioned the individual who's been at Reading Hospital, and how that's probably been a very trying experience for them and how they haven't had a great place to be. I think that as a member of Berks Stands Up, the group with which you took umbrage about their comment, we are really thinking a lot about the impact of detention on the children that spent time in the residential center. Fortunately, there are no children in there right now, but that detention has a very negative impact on kids. Any detention, and that could be one instance of the violence that was mentioned in that comment, that the negative impact on their mental health and on their outlook of our country, but also of the world, that those children who have come through there and spent time in detention there, that was going to have a very negative impact on their mental well-being throughout their life. Physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, a lot of people have made comments far more qualified than I on how negative an impact that has on them. As far as the politically charged aspect of that center, I think that we can all agree that no human being is illegal, that there are immigration procedures that a lot of people say, well, the individuals, the asylum seekers who came through that center, they didn't follow all of the federal immigration rules. I think everybody in this room probably is also very aware of how hard it is to actually work through all of the federal immigration rules that exist. It can be literally decades if you're coming from certain countries until you are legally allowed to come here. And for some people, that's a lifetime. And there are instances in gang violence where you need to get out as soon as possible. You don't have time to work through the immigration process. A lot of people have come to this country seeking a better life, and I am hopeful that nobody will have a negative experience in Berks County for any reason, but that anybody who comes here comes there of their own volition, that they are welcomed, that they are not detained, that they are not treated like criminals, because I think all human beings have value and everybody should be able to live as freely as I would imagine everybody in this room is able to do. So I thank you guys again for your concern about the employees. We knew that this center would not operate as it has been forever. So I'm looking forward to hearing what the transition plans are for the employees, what that building, what that space might be used for in the future, and how we can move forward in a positive manner. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no comments online, so we will end the comment period. I am going to respond. Number one, we announced to the employees yesterday that the recent decision to do a workspace study of the services center, the county courthouse, the SAM building, and the South Campus will now also include the BCRC. So we will be looking at that in a uniform way with all of the different departments that the county handles and determine the highest and best use for that facility. Secondly, respectfully, a person sitting in a very confined room in an ER is dramatically different than the experience the children and families, and more recently the ladies, have had at the Berks County Residential Center, having gone through it many times. When we had children, we had a music teacher that taught violin, guitar, and piano. We had BCIU with high-tech classrooms. I was in those classrooms when children were being taught. We had some of the best medical care available. U.S. Surgeon General, local dental. When a child and an adult came into that facility, they received a full-blown medical check. These individuals were taken care of well. They were not only fed through the cafeteria with very good meals, each floor had its own independent area for beverages and snacks, healthy snacks, other types of snacks. They had a physical library and an online library. The online library had every single language available. This was not violence. Period. I'm sick of hearing that. That is a bunch of BS politics, and it needs to stop. What was done there and the way people were treated was right and decent, and I am proud of the way the people were treated. Here's my concern. I asked the question, what is happening right now to families immigrating into this country in a broken immigration system, wide open borders? There's a much greater chance for people to be taken advantage of in the environment we're seeing today. I'm proud of our people. That's all I have.
I'd also like to add something to that as well. Is I understand there's different positions on immigration and what's right, what's wrong. And like I've said many times, that's something that has to be addressed with your federal delegation of the federal government, not at the county level. We cannot determine what happens with immigration. But what is most disheartening about all of this is the lies and misinformation that organizations have put out there in reference to what goes on at the residential center. I remember when I was first in office, a group went to my house, and it was dark outside. They went with the goal of trying to intimidate me into voting to rescind the contract with the federal government to run the Berks County Residential Center. They were very clear about that. Now, a few things having to do with that is, one, my question was, have you ever called my office or reached out to me to try to talk to me about it before coming to my house where my family is at to project misinformation on the side of my house? And the answer was, no, we haven't. So they never even tried to reach out about it, but they felt it was appropriate to go to my house, share information there with me. And one of the things that the one lady was saying was that there was a boy there and he was vomiting blood and the parents could not reach him because they were behind bars. And they said, and Commissioner, you have children, don't you? I said, yes, I do. I said, well, how would you feel if your son was vomiting blood and you couldn't get to him because you were behind bars? I said, well, that's a great question. I said, have you ever been there? Yes, I have various times. I said, well, where are the bars? Because I've been there various times and I've never seen bars. The answer was, well, now you're taking it literally. I said, no, you told me that the kid cannot get to the parents that the parents cannot get to the kids because they were behind bars. And they kept on saying I was taking it literally after they had said that the parents could not get there because they were behind bars. And this case is and many others where disinformation and misinformation was disseminated. I think that's what's most disheartening and frustrating about this whole situation here. So again, I stand behind the employees there at the residential center. And again, to those who have, I think we all agree here that there are things that need to be done with our immigration system to improve it, but that's not something that gets done at the county level, and that should be addressed with the appropriate level of government that can do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
The meeting stands adjourned.